That's what I'm going to. Yeah, God, I have to take girls.
Decided to do was ask parents and caregivers what their experience was like raising young children in our community.
Welcome to Go on Shot TV. I'm Doug Roxburgh, and unfortunately in Fort McMurray, we're a little bit behind when it comes to childhood development. Yes, we have lots of great programs, but for some reason we are lacking behind the provincial average, and we're talking to a research team right here at the Red Pole Center because they have some great information that can improve the quality of life for children. Also on this episode of Go, we meet a furry friend with Craig Momney. We experience some ball hockey down in McDonald Island, and it's cold hands for warm soup. The Children First Foundation had a research team go out to find out about early childhood development, and we have some pretty good results provincially wide. Do we have some of the findings? I'm with Tina and Beinush, the research team, by the way. What are the results, guys?
So the results from our study is based on a previous study that indicated we have less than desirable outcomes for young children in our community, and we wanted to find out why. What we decided to do was ask parents and caregivers what their experience was like raising young children in our community. The biggest thing that we found over the past 2 years is that we need more data collected at a local level that's relevant and accessible for our population. Otherwise, we get an unclear picture of early childhood development.
And I guess one thing we found out was that Fort McMurray is behind the provincial average, but 1 in 3 kids have troubles in Fort McMurray, where it's 1 in 4 in Alberta. I guess we don't have any clear results, so do we?
No, because if we want to know why this is happening, as if you want to go and just look at our final report, is that there are so many factors that are kind of working together to kind of create that situation. So unless we have access to all that information at the local level, so we couldn't say why this is happening. So that's why we just we kind of launched this research, but this is just kind of a very small piece of that big puzzle to kind of find out why this is happening.
And research is important. Do we know who is surveyed in these results? Like, where do the findings come from?
So the parents and caregivers that were surveyed were initially found at daycares and day homes, as well as a Catholic school board supported us. We then reached out to get a more diverse segment of the population, and so Kiana Link program supported us, as did the Multicultural Association through their parenting support program, and the Hub in both their Thickwood and their downtown locations. So a real range of parents.
Okay. That's good to know. And Tina, Beinush, do not go anywhere. We want to find out some of the conclusions from this result, and which can be found online. We'll show you the link in a little bit. Okay, you guys prepared for that?
Yes.
Good. In the meantime, Craig Momney goes down to the SPCA because he has another furry friend that could be up for adoption. Back with the research team from the Children First Foundation, finding out about childhood development right here in Fort McMurray and the results and what we can do to improve it. We talked about some of the findings. Let's talk about some of the conclusions with Tina and Dr. Beinush. What are some of the conclusions we can come from the research that you guys have done?
So do you want to talk about the conclusions? So it's kind of complicated to talk about the conclusions because we can just talk about the actual conclusion of this research, but there are like broader conclusion as well. So the actual conclusion of this research, what I really want to highlight in here is that we kind of managed to capture the voice of a segment of our population. So most of our respondents were female, Canadian-born, English-speaking, white, like typical mothers in this community that we think that they would have access to a very good support. And yet, our findings show that there are struggles when it comes to raising up the children. So that's one thing that I really want everybody to think about.
Was the transient population here in Fort McMurray a big challenge as well?
I would say that they are. I think Fort McMurray provincially has a different role to play in terms of how families exist in our province, but I don't think they were captured here because many people that are transient work here and they don't live here, so their families live somewhere else.
Of course, we can review all the results of this research study so families can help improve child development and make their kids a better place for not only their families, but for everyone involved. Where can they view this information?
On the Children First website. So it's children1st.ca.
Excellent. Go find out that information because our kids are our lives. Let's take a quick break. You're watching Go on Shaw. We all want the same thing for our kids. We want them to grow up, be healthy, be strong, be active, and be better than we are. That's what life is, and that's why life is important, especially for our kids, and it starts at a very young age. I'm Doug Roxburgh, and make sure you check out that website for all the research tools that this team at Children First provided. We'll see you when we see you right here on Go.